Ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bulls have been on a roll. Well, kind of, when it comes to trying to make over this team. They still got two guys on this team that they got to move. But we ain't talking about them right now. We talking about the guys that we are expecting to play day one. So the question for the day is, for this evening, is will the Chicago Bulls be a play-in contender right now as currently constructed? I know y'all got something to say about this. We got something to say about it as well. Y'all know we're going to talk about it and break it down, but you know you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
If you ain't coming out the intro looking like this with a drink in your hand, you tweaking. But nonetheless, Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I am with my dog Cdub. How you doing, boy?
What's the word, man? Make sure y'all punch that subscribe button, bro. Y'all been killing it, bro.
Y'all
Killing it!
definitely been going nuts. Just a few weeks ago, we ain't even see 6K. Now we well over 6K on the road to that 7K and eventually hitting that main goal of 10K. C-Dub say, Bobby, we ain't satisfied. I say, we ain't satisfied. So y'all make sure, Bulls Nation, y'all be tuned in and get satisfied by hitting that subscribe button and getting this fire content. C-Dub.
Yeah.
These Chicago Bulls, they got some young pups over there. Earlier today, I did the Lonzo Ball, Josh Giddey, Lonzo Ball stuff. Talked about that, how it's kind of similar up in there. You know what I'm saying? But it's been some doubt around the Chicago Bulls. Some people that's on the fence. They don't feel like the Chicago Bulls right now is currently constructed can be a play-in team. They feel like they got to at least see it a little bit. Or they feeling like it might be some teams that might be a little bit better than the Chicago Bulls. Off the first thing that comes off the top of the dome for C-Dub, are the Chicago Bulls right now is currently constructed a play-in contender?
I think the easy way out is to say no. Ain't no way in hell this little young team can compete for a playoff spot. But I think it's more complicated than that, nephew. You want to know why? That's what you're supposed to answer, motherfucker.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
When you look at this young team, we made a lot of young acquisitions. Got Josh Giddey. You got Matis Buzelis. The players that we have on the team is young as hell as well. And most of the time when you get a young team, i.e. Detroit Pistons, i.e. Houston Rockets, in a similar sense, you can count or bank, or Washington Wizards, you can count or bank on them being on the lower part of the standings. Just because in the most, it's not just this main reason, but it's most of the reason because they're young and they need experience.
Right.
Did you hear what I said at the end of that? I said experience. Now let's talk about experience. Josh Giddey, he went to the Western Conference Finals. He went to the semifinals last year. He didn't have a lot of playing time, but he played with great players on that team. Even though he was benched, he got a lot of experience. Matis Buzelis is just a raw rookie, even though he got experience. He been playing in the G League. I know it ain't like the NBA, but it's something similar to a warm-up or a grooming for you can get to the big boy league. You got Kobe, Ayo, Pat. These are all young guys under the age of 24. But what's the difference between our young guys and a lot of other team young guys? It's that E word, experience. So with that experience and what they've been through all this time, I'm not throwing it out of question that they can get in the playoffs. One, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. And two, tanking sucks to me. I know Cooper. Go ahead.
No, no, nah, finish. You know Cooper what?
Uh, I know Cooper Flag, and he had a terrific. He looks terrific, nephew. He looked terrific. But is it set in stone that we gonna get the number 1 pick and get Cooper Flag?
No.
You want to set us back another? That'll set us back another 2 years. You want us to get set back another 2 years? I don't like watching trash. I'm willing to watch this season right here because we got some new shit going on. We got some new shit going on. It's going to be entirely different. We will not play the same as we've been playing the last couple years. So hell no, we ain't going to be at the bottom of the league. We going to compete for a playoff spot. Yeah, I said it.
I ain't mad at you. And when we talk about the Chicago Bulls, I think it's a touchy subject that you got to come into this with. Yeah. You got to come into the Chicago Bulls conversation and treat it as a touchy subject, you know what I'm saying, and be just kind of even keel for the most part. But for us, it's hard. I want to be a damn homer so bad. Y'all seen me drop the video this morning saying that Giddy can beat Lonzo Ball 2.0. It can happen. It's not a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? It's just me trying to push positivity out into the atmosphere to see if the Chicago Bulls can do what they need to do. But Cdub, if you telling me that the Chicago Bulls, with all these teams that are competing or in the tankathon, that the Chicago Bulls won't be in the play-in contention, you are crazy. If we're looking at the top 8 from last season, we can pretty much keep the top 8 the same, Cdub, in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to name off the teams. You let me know if you disagree. Number 8, Miami Heat.
Okay.
Number 7, Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Orlando.
Yep.
Number 4, Cleveland. Number 3, Milwaukee.
Yep.
Number 2, New York.
Yep.
Number 1, Boston. We can all agree that those teams will be competing for top 8. Correct?
Yep. Absolutely.
After that, it's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up for the Chicago Bulls to be in the play-in. We talking about the team that I think that's most closely to the Chicago Bulls, maybe, who was the 10th seed last year, the Atlanta Hawks. We say, okay, cool to that. Brooklyn Nets, not a chance in hell. Toronto Raptors, I think the Chicago Bulls are better than them. Just me. I'm not a big believer in Scotty Barnes. I understand that with this whack-ass NBA salary cap, you got to pay players a certain percentage of the cap salary to be at the salary cap floor. Cool. I don't care. Toronto Raptors, I think the Bulls better than them. Charlotte Hornets, I think the Charlotte Hornets can make some noise if LaMelo finally step up. But that put the Bulls at the 10th seed, fighting for the 10th seed with the Atlanta Hawks. Because the Washington Wizards ain't no shit. The Detroit Pistons ain't no shit in the Eastern Conference. I think it's very well mapped out that this young Chicago Bulls team can be definitely vying for a play-in spot. Yeah. And you never know what might happen. It's a sudden death type of feel. You got Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams, Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, who all has been a part of a play-in type scenario, whether they was on the court or on the sideline. They know what the pressure is. they know what the pressure is. So to say that this team is completely out of it, I think it's crazy. Look, Cdub, it might sound crazy, but I think it's pretty damn good. You compete as long as you keep the top 10 pick. That's it. Now, go on complete tankathon, it ain't happening. It's too many teams in the race, and that's going to be tankathoning or a part of the tankathon that's just going to be way worse than the Chicago Bulls, in my opinion. So as long as you keep your 2025 pick, by making sure you be top 10 or less, you Gucci. What you say?
I agree with you, nephew. I agree with you. And this gonna be see, y'all thinking that the teams know how to play the Chicago. Of course, the jury was out on the last Chicago Bulls team with DeMar and Zach and them. They knew how to guard us. They knew how to play us. We don't even know what's gonna happen next season with this team, how they're gonna play, what speed, what pace. And the opposing teams don't know how we gonna play, what speed, what pace, how are we gonna play? They don't know. This is new. What if that shit come together? What if it come together? Giddy was playing in the Western Conference. The only reason he off this team because the talent is better over there. He can start on multiple teams in this league. Montes Buzelis probably have a chance to win Rookie of the Year depending on how we use them. You know how we use our rookies. But depending on how they use Montes, this man's skill bag, his bag is, he crazy. He definitely gonna have you screaming with them dunks. He gonna dunk, take a couple bodies, he gonna take a couple souls. You gonna get Patrick Williams he gonna get a lot of touches. He gonna get a lot of shots. Kobe White gonna be free to do what he gotta do.
That's a fact.
Julian Phillips was injured at the last part of that season. He gets even more experience now. He's gonna see more floor time. Do not count this team out. Jalen Smith. I think he should start.
Over Vooch, huh?
Yes. I think he should start. You know, I am anti-Vooch. You know how many things he do? Could you just imagine him running up and down the court with Jalen Smith as the stretch lob threat that he is? A real stretch big. A real one. So y'all better stop counting. How you counting your own team out? I know y'all want Cooper Flag. He's terrific. But what are the chances of we really getting a number 1 pick?
I got it for you. Throw me the alley-oop and I got you.
Oh, bro, there it is.
Throw me the alley-oop and I got you, Cdub. Last year, we can go ahead and pretty much agree that for the last few years, Detroit Pistons have been the worst team record-wise in the NBA. Yes. Last season, they won 14 games, Cdub. Guess where they draft pick fell?
Where?
Just guess. Just throw one.
One?
No. Number 5. So even if you're the worst team in the league, you're not guaranteed a number 1 overall pick. Cdub. The year before that, we talked about 2024. We talking about the year before that, 2023. The Detroit Pistons, they won 17 games. Guess where their pick fell? 1? No. 5 again.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. You mean they had the worst record? 2 teams had the worst record. They couldn't get the fucking number 1 pick?
See, come on. It does not stop there.
Come on, it don't work.
In 2021, 2022, they won 23 games. Guess where they pick fell?
1?
No. Number 5 again. Number 5 again.
So we tanking for the 5th pick.
We tanking for the 5th pick. Is that good enough, Bulls Nation? This is why we tell you all. It sounds good to go on a tank run. But with the changes in the rules, with the changes of how the balls are counted, no, Diddy. When it comes to the lottery, it's not guaranteed anymore to where it would the same way it was when Joel Embiid and the 76ers was running the whole let's tank stuff. It's not the same. The Detroit Pistons literally won 14 games, 17 games, and 23 games in the last 3 years, respectively, and still ended up with the 5th pick in the first round. So I get it. I understand it. I know y'all love Cooper Flag. I believe, hey, if Kevin Durant coming out saying, look, I don't really got a much of a like or a taste for Kevin Durant. But if Kevin Durant, I respect his game. He's a hell of a player.
Talk nice.
He underachieved a little bit.
Talk nice.
That's not the topic of the day. Kevin Durant is a Hall of Fame, a hell of a player, MVP in this NBA. You got to show him his respect regardless of how you feel about him. He came out and said Cooper Flag he nice.
He was balling with Anthony Davis.
Now, things can change, obviously, in this league. But as of right now, Cooper Flag seems to be the real deal.
Yeah.
But if you tanking and you win 14 games, Chicago Bulls, and you end up with speaker knocks, rest in peace, or headphone holder, Yes. Or Cdub cemetery of microphones. What was
Shut
the
the
tanking
hell
for?
up.
What was the tanking for? Can we keep it a buck? Because it's not a guaranteed
It's
thing
not.
as it once was. So go out here, win the damn games, and just make sure you stay within the top 10. That's how I look at
And
it.
then let me add this caveat. There is other players, Mikey Williams, Dylan Harper, players like that in this draft. They're not up to the caliber, I think, to Cooper Flag. So that is the grand prize in this draft. Is this a nephew? Is this a Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James type of draft? If you get my drift.
I mean, I get
With
it, but I
Cooper Flag.
necessarily don't know. Just me, like personally, I'm not gonna sit here and flex for the fans or flex for the people that support the channel and act like I've watched all of the college prospects that's coming out this upcoming season. The only one I honestly seen is Cooper Flag, to be honest with you. So I don't know. As of right now, I don't know. I'm not gonna bullshit people, and I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure. But to answer your question, I would say there's nothing for sure in any of these leagues. We've seen in the NBA, people thought Anthony Bennett for the Cleveland Cavs was going to be good.
Goodness.
What did he turn out to be?
Where is he?
We thought Andrew Wiggins was going to be good. He was bad and then good and then he bad again.
Yes.
In this NBA. We look at the NFL. We say Sam Bradford was going to be decent. We thought Nick Foles was going to be decent. We thought Carson Wentz was going to be decent. Yeah. So I say all that to say, Cdub, is that with these sports, you necessarily don't know. Whether you think that's just because somebody put in a nice amount of numbers in college, sometimes you don't know. Look at our Chicago Bulls. I'm about to go through two names real quick, and it hurts. Jalen Williams, we never really got to see what he can be in the Chicago Bulls uniform after the accident.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose, we never seen what he can be in his fucking prime. Wow. There's nothing guaranteed in this league. So tanking, I'm not a big fan of. But I know one thing for this upcoming season, this roster should be a play-in contender. And what that's going to tell me, C-Dub?
What's going to tell you?
The Bulls are moving in the right direction.
I agree, nephew, 100%. You don't always got to tank to reset. You can you can reboot. You can change the landscape. And maybe it can transform into a great meadow for the future, for you can go and have picnics and barbecues and shit. Because if this little core, we got a nice little young core. We got Ayo, Pat Wheel, Josh Giddey. Who knows what if Lonzo be like 85% of himself? And you got two magnificent not ball handlers, but ball distributors like Lonzo and Josh Giddey on the floor. With those IQs, with all those athletes like Montes and Jalen Smith and Pat, this will be a fun team to watch. And it'll be a tough team to guard because you won't be focused on, you have to make a game plan for the Bulls and before Kobe started going off. You game plan for DeMar? You game plan for Zach? And then you just let Vooch just drink, or you just put a body on him or something. I don't know what you do with Vooch. He just drink by himself. So the landscape has changed, guys. We don't have to tank to have a great future. That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact. And I look at, and I know some people, they don't really think about it, but I look at the Dallas Mavericks of last season. The year prior, they didn't necessarily tank the whole season, but they tanked the last 2 games. If the Bulls come into that situation, fuck it. Tank the last 3 games to make sure you keep the top 10 pick.
Yeah.
But you play. You play. And if it comes down to it, you take a step back to take a few steps forwards, just like the Dallas Mavericks. They took a few steps forward, so they tanked at the end of the season. One of the teams they lost to at the end of the season was your greatly Chicago Bulls. To help them get that pick, they used that pick to draft Lively. Then at the trade deadline, they go get PJ Washington. They go get Daniel Gaffer. That helped them take 2 steps forward and push them to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying the Bulls are going to the Eastern Conference Finals because it's just too hard to do that right now with the way we look. But I believe that with the young core that we have in their experience, the Bulls should be at least a step or two ahead per se than a rebuild. A rebuild, you starting a bunch of young 1-year players and a bunch of rookies, maybe bring in a vet just to fill a salary or something.
I'm glad you said this.
You know what I'm saying? But for the Chicago Bulls, you got Kobe White, who been for 5 years. P. Will, 5 years. Ayodo Sumu, 3 years now. Dalen Terry, 2 years now.
This one on his third. This is third.
Dalen Terry, third. You got Giddey, who been in the league for 3 years already. You got vets like Torrey Craig, even though I'm not too much fond on him. Torrey Craig, Javon Carter, Nikola Vucevic, not really too fond on them, but you got some vets on the team. But the guys that's going to see the bulk of the minutes are young, and they not just 1-year players. That should be something you look at, because Cdub, last point, it's going to be some games to where that's why I believe the Chicago Bulls can absolutely win over 30 games. It's going to be some teams that are older that the Bulls play, and they're just going to run them out the gym and just run them to a victory. That's just that's going to be your Phoenixes. That's going to be your Los Angeles Lakers. That's going to be your LA Clippers, maybe. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be in way in the season, your 76ers, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your Boston Celtics take a night off and rest people. Those are going to be additional wins that you get on the season to help the Bulls accumulate at least 30 wins. And then it's going to be some to where it's hard fought. And they have some growing pains, and they absolutely drop the ball at the end of the game. But then, as you see, like the Chicago Sky, it's going to be some that they're going to come out here and they're going to put them dubs up because they close out at the game. Because who knows who the next Kennedy Carter on the Chicago Bulls? I got Kobe White. Who you got? But anyway, Cdub, go ahead.
He said Kobe White. I like that.
Hey, I mean, if we keeping it up, can we keep it up, Buck? Both of them got some. They can really explode offensively. Both.
Yeah,
of them.
Absolutely, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? They know that they might not be the number one.
Yeah.
But when it's time to get buckets, it's time to get buckets. But go.
Oh yeah, they isolate for Kennedy at the top. Yes, isolate for Kobe White at the
move
at
out
the top.
Fucking way.
Move the fuck out the way.
Going to the basket. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna add this caveat though. If we get into All-Star break and we 10 and 30 or some shit, oh yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Sit Kobe, sit Pat, sit Ayo, sit their ass down. We about to lose. Call Henry Drell up. Call up Sanogu.
We real. Kobe White got a foot injury. He got to have foot surgery.
Kobe White got COVID and some more shit. He can't play.
Oh, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that. I got an interesting thing though when it comes to these players. To me, Cdub, I gotta keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
Because I know the explosiveness that Kobe White has. But if P. Will, this is hard because we tired of putting it in P. Will hands and he dropping the ball. But if P. Will is able to be a 20 points per game scorer, the Bulls are gonna win more games than what we.
Oh yes. Easily. That's a great.
Simply because of the defense. Simply because of, I believe he's not only going to impact the scoring on the 3-point line, I think he's going to also impact the scoring within the paint, and that's a different beast because now he can draw fouls. I know Kobe White can drop 40 any day. I know it. Mm-hmm. But I just think that he's going to garner so much attention, somebody else got to step up, and I see as Josh Giddey being Alonzo Ball 2.0. As for the people that saw the video, if you ain't see it, go check it out. Let me know what you think. But I think Josh Giddey is going to be Lonzo Ball 2.0. And I think the guy that has to step up like right now with nothing else left, with no more options left, is Patrick Williams.
I'm glad.
I think it's no more baby in this guy. No more. No more babying any of these young players. I'm not having that shit, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and baby Patrick Williams. I'm not babying Julian Phillips. I'm not definitely babying Dalen Terry. I think it's time. Guys got to rise up to the occasion. You got to get the fuck out. That's just how it is. I think it's right now is the time that you got a motherfucking R-Dub. I know he barely scored 10. But we seen, look, gang, R-Dub. Did you see my video? For those that missed the video, check the video. It's not the last one with Josh Giddey. It's the last one talking about Patrick Williams. When I pretty much came out there and said, look, Patrick Williams' last 4 20-point games came this past season.
Yep. Why did it come? What was on the floor? Who wasn't playing?
That's not true.
They weren't playing. Oh, go.
That's not true. DeMar DeRozan was on the floor, Cdub.
Okay.
But his last 4, he got 10 in his career. The 6, I think only out of the 6 that didn't happen last season, DeMar was on the floor for one of them. So he had 5 without DeMar, 1 with DeMar, and then the last 4 this past season with DeMar. So that's a total of 5 with DeMar. For his entire tenure for the Chicago Bulls. That lets me know it's a mental thing.
Okay.
I'm just saying, look, this is it. This is it. Because you proved me wrong this time. I'm on your ass and I can't root for you again.
All right.
That's
Oh, you ain't finished. Go ahead, nephew.
I was just saying, for P. Will, if this is the last, y'all see how much left in this cup? That's as much hope I got left in P. Will. This is 100%. This is the last 10%. This is as much as I got left for P. Will. Okay. If he don't do it, I just can't do it for him no more. I can't.
Okay. I'm about to name, this is like a starting lineup that we have now with the players that we have on the team. This is starting lineup. This is the point per game totals of the starting lineup that we have that I'm going to predict that we have. Patrick Williams, can he average 17?
That's fair.
Can Kobe White average 21?
Yes.
Can Ayo Dosunmu, and I'm going to be nice, average 13?
That's a little light. As a starter?
Oh, that's a light. Okay. I went light. Giddey, can he give you 14?
Shit, that's a little light.
That's a little light. I'm going light. And if Vooch is still here, that's an automatic 18. Add it all up, that's almost 100 points right there.
So you got what? 8, 11, 15, what? 23, 3, 5, 6, like 7, 8. That's 83 points from your starting 5.
Right.
So me personally, I feel like if you started these guys, you cheated Josh Giddey out about 4 more points. So that'll push it up to 87. And then Ayo, I believe he can get 17 points. So that's another 4 more points. So you know what I'm saying? That'll be what, 91 points? We just say it's 91 points for the starting lineup, and then the reserves, your Javon Carter's, your Torrey Craig's, your
Montes Buzelis, and Jalen Smith.
Exactly. So
is Montes gonna get double figures, nephew?
Double figures off the bench?
I think he's gonna start, but I'm just saying right now, the team that we got right now, it went just forget about all that. What do you think he averaged for the season, Montes Buzelis?
For the season, if he's coming off the bench, he's averaging, I'll give him 8 points per game.
What if he starts?
If he starts, I'll give him 12.
Can we go at 10?
Fair enough.
Meet you at the middle.
Just lock it in at 10.
Jalen Smith, I'll give him 8, 9 points a game.
Okay. We'll lock it in at 8 for Smith.
And then the rest of that shit is miscellaneous. All the catfishes.
That's a fact.
And Dalen.
I ain't gonna lie to you though. I think Dalen about to show out.
You think if he show out?
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Y'all know I don't.
I'm with you.
I think Dalen about to give you. I think he coming off the bench. He gonna give you 8 points per game.
That's big for Dalen, nephew. I love that.
I think he give you
that's
8
giant.
About 8 points. 8, 4, and 4. I think
that's giant.
Or 8, 4, and 3.
That's giant.
I think, and that's 4 rebounds, 3 assists for clarity for those people that's watching. Javon Carter, I ain't got much hope.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Fuck you talking
Triple
about?
single. Hell, you talking
Triple single. And Torrey Craig, nephew.
Hell
the man
no.
averaged 6 points for his career.
Bro ass need to be the 15 man. Talking about, come on, young guys. Hey, we got to go ahead and make sure we listen to coach. We got to make sure we go ahead. We got to make sure we go ahead and listen to coach. I need all the young guys over here, all the vets over here. That's it. Monitor. He's going to be the bench monitor. Fuck the bullshit. Other than that,
you know what role Dalen would be great at?
I think that's
irritant.
7th, 8th man. Yeah,
get in there and get in there and just get into it with everybody.
That's a fact.
Send it up.
That's a fact.
Send it up.
That's 7th, 8th man. You know what I'm saying? That can,
Yeah. Yeah, get on people's nerves, make them mad, get a tech early. I need Dalen. I think he can fit that role, bro. But he a baller. He magnificent. He a magnificent playmaker. Dalen Terry.
I think that's what's his strength, and that's why I told you I think that he gonna be able to get you 8, 4, and 3. That's the 8, 4 assists, 8, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Just coming off a few minutes off the bench. I think that's gonna be good for him. I think that he's gonna be able to give you a little bit of everything because it's not just gonna be the assist, the rebounds. It's gonna be a little bit of steals. It's gonna be some blocks as well. And we seen in the second half of last season that he was able to calm down and be well within the flow of the offense for the Chicago Bulls. And on the defensive side, I think Dalen Terry and that 3, he's been practicing that shit for a while now.
Yeah, he's getting
at some point you got to be able to knock that shit down, Dalen. So I want to see it.
Yeah. And then we didn't even get to Julian Phillips. That's unknown. I don't know what Julian Phillips gonna do.
I'm gonna say this right here, Cdub. P.
Don't
Will don't
Pat.
step up. It's Phillips. I'm just saying.
This is the year to do it.
Up.
Yep.
I got a young buck that appears to be ready. And if he shows me that he's ready, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go. It's no more holding hands with any of these players right now.
Nope.
That shit is cooked. The only person that get a little hand holding is Buzelis. And after a few games, that shit over with him as well. That's a fact. We held on to Patrick Williams for 4 fucking years. That shit is over.
Yeah,
3 years. Kobe White, 5 years. Dalen Terry, 3 years. That shit is over. We out of that shit. Y'all got to step up. If we pushing this shit to new heights and new forwards and trying to see a new wave with the young Chicago Bulls, y'all got to at least show us something. I'm not saying you got to win every game, but you at least got to ball the fuck out, and then you let the opposing teams, veterans and superstars and stars beat you. Yep. But you can't be out here just getting waxed every game. No, we not having it, bro.
Yeah.
Not having it.
And I want to let
live call going crazy. So tune in. Y'all motherfuckers said y'all gonna be there for the tank.
Yep.
So be there.
And y'all better be there. Y'all said y'all was, bro. Hey, look, it's 16.2 shots per game out there now. That's how much DeMar DeRozan shoots per game with the Chicago Bulls. There's a lot of shots out there. There's a lot.
16 shots.
So let's see. It's gonna be interesting, bro.
Who taking them, Cdub? How you gonna disperse these?
Kobe, Pat. I want more to Pat. Kobe, he knows how. That's hard. I go Kobe, Pat, Montes Buzelis. That's
hold on. First of all, I need to understand. You think Montes Buzelis is starting?
Yeah.
So your starting lineup, because this is Kobe, Giddey, P. Will, Buzelis, and Vooch?
And Jalen Smith.
So no Vooch, Jalen Smith?
Yes. I'm holding out hope that he'll get traded. You think I'm playing? Why are you laughing?
No, I know you serious. I'm just saying. I'm just laughing because I don't think that shit happening. That's just me.
Yeah.
I think there's a world that Vooch is still on his team.
Could you say that DeMar and Zach and Vooch were the worst defenders on this team?
They were top 3.
So we're going to be better in that aspect. Would you say there will be more ball movement on this team now?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's going to be great. Do not cut us out. Do not. Not. Y'all know how I come, bro. I might as well say dope, because I am Homer. I don't give up. Chicago Bulls fan, bro.
That should be crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's get into a couple of these comments before we ride out. This man said,
That's
Dilbert.
Dilbert ass.
My man said Bulls should sign P. Diddy for player development. My goodness.
They gonna be sued out of existence.
Jerry said if we 5th, he better get that one center.
Okay.
The Sixers messed it up for everybody, G.
I get his plight right there.
Detroit has been tanking for 10 years and still can't get it right. Can we keep it a buck?
Keep it a buck, bro.
Can we keep it a buck?
Shout out to Chuck, man.
I remember these motherfuckers had Blake Griffin over there.
What? They had Derrick Rose over there.
He was over there shooting 3, jacking them hoes.
They had Derrick Rose, Andre Drummond when he was in his prime, all type of shit over there, bro. It's crazy.
For real. Lil Bulls fan with the Derrick Rose profile pic. Shout out to my
bro.
guy.
Shout out to bro.
He said, I don't want this team to tank. Just go hoop. That's what I'm saying.
That's
go
a real rational.
And let the dominoes fall where they gonna fall. Let the bones fall where they gonna fall, bro.
Ant, what up?
For real. Would you choose the better center over Flag, though? The best center over Flag, though?
I have to see this season. I don't think, no, I would not.
Me personally, if I have
the number 1 pick, Flag getting chosen.
Me personally, if you the Chicago Bulls, you try to see if you can right your wrongs by getting rid of Vooch and trying to see what you can get for Walker Kessler. That's what you should do. See if you can get Walker Kessler. They want a first-round pick. Do they want it in 2025? I'll give it up for 2027.
Hey, all I got to say is Walker Kessler is dope as hell, but Zach Edey destroyed him the other day.
He
destroyed
did.
Him.
That's a fact. Shout out to my mans Hayes and Steve-O. For down
every time.
I ain't gonna lie.
And not every
real.
time.
I told it is what it is. We'll see how
he gonna look with John Nim, G.G. Jackson, Jared Jackson Jr. Ooh, and little dinosaur man. Well, they gonna be deadly.
Y'all already know. Well, San Antonio tanked and got Wemby. Yeah, they did get Wemby, Sandroku, but we talking about the fucking Detroit Pistons who had 14, 17, and 23 wins in the last 3 years, respectively, and didn't come out with the first overall pick. That's 3 years of being ass. Ass, complete ass.
In a bag.
In a bag, in a can of bounce that ass. And they didn't get the number 1 pick, Sandroku. That's why I don't want the Bulls to fall into this shit. Poop. Just make sure it's top 10 protected. That's it. Make sure it's top 10 protected so we ain't got to give it up. That's it.
Dilbert, put the pipe down now. That's enough, Dilbert. Crazy ass motherfucking Dilbert.
Would you trade up for Cooper Flag?
Yes. If somebody's stupid enough to trade.
Right. Right.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely, Dilbert.
Definitely about to be jacking them threes.
Absolutely, Dilbert.
AK got 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the youth movement.
I would agree with that.
I ain't gonna lie.
I agree with this.
Why?
Like, I think it's been too much. I think ownership has to intervene, bro. It's been mediocre for the last 5 years. It's not going. They don't have if they don't get to the playoff, I don't know. I don't want to put no caveat on it or anything. But I don't think his job is that secure to me. It cannot be with all this mediocrity we've been seeing. It can't.
Fact.
I know he got other business and shit. His attention us well, but he got to see this, bro. He got to.
Show. Chuck says coaches don't develop players. Stop the cap. Name the coach who developed MJ or D Rose. Players need to work on their games in the offseason. Cdub, what you got?
MJ, what is that North Carolina coach? Dean Smith, legendary coach. Taught him the game of basketball when he got to North Carolina. Derrick Rose, how about Nick Smith at Simeon High School? He taught him the game of basketball. How about his, you know what I'm saying? It's some coaches that could do development. How about Mark Jackson? He the one got Stephen Curry into the GOAT that he is. You know what I'm saying? There's some coaches out. Larry Brown, one of the best coaches in the world ever to grace an NBA sideline. There's some coaches that can help you. Not a Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson is not like a developmental coach. He's like a get everybody mind frame together right and everybody move as a unit type shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's some coaches out there. We just ain't got one. That's it.
Me personally, Chuck, I'm gonna disagree on this. I'm gonna say that coaches can develop, but I am with you on the second part of your statement that players do need to work on their shit on the during the off season. But when we talk about players, we need the coaches to put the players in the best position to maximize their skills. That's why I believe the coaches come in and be a part of the development. The coaches has to place that player within the best position. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about who we talking about, just I'm trying to give you a name. Trae Young. I'll give you Trae Young. When he first came in, we knew he was good, but he really hit that stride when he got Nate McMillan.
I agree.
Conference finals.
100%.
And he was able to get a coach that was in there to maximize his skills. Right now, hey, if we keeping it a buck, y'all ain't gonna want to hear it. DeMar DeRozan had his highest career point total with who? The Chicago Bulls.
But that's DeMar.
Hey, y'all don't want to hear it.
You gonna give it to Billy?
I gotta give show love to Billy for maximizing DeMar DeRozan. It wasn't always the prettiest. It didn't result in the wins, but I gotta show love.
But it do the same shit. Goes to the veterans in the league that's been in the league 10, 15 years. It can't be. They know too much of the game. DeMar DeRozan is like a 14-year veteran. Do you think he really need a coach to help him develop his game?
I'm gonna say to maximize their strengths, not to develop. So I get it's kind of awful what you and Chuck saying, but to maximize their strength, Billy Donovan maximized Russell Westbrook's strengths too. Can we agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
When he got his MVP, that was a maximization of, you know what I'm saying, of Russell Westbrook's strengths. It wasn't the best, but it got him the MVP.
Yeah, it did.
That's all I'm saying. Is that sometimes coaches, my point is that coaches have to place players in positions for them to succeed. Why haven't we seen James Wiseman with all the skill in the world come to fruition?
Blame it on
Steve
himself.
Kerr didn't. I blame himself, but Steve Kerr, after him showing himself, didn't believe in him. Then he went over to Detroit, and nobody still believes in him. So now it's the coaches are done with him. Now it's on the player. That goes back to what you and Chuck are talking about. I think it's a relationship amongst coaches and the individual player. That's just how it is. Like I'm gonna put majority of the responsibility on the player, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm gonna say coaching matters as well. That's how I'm gonna leave it at that. I think that's the best way to leave it.
Yeah.
My man Steely E said no need to tank, just fire Billy. I'm with you on that, but it ain't happening.
It ain't happening, bro. I don't know what the hell.
Tanking only works in the NFL. Hey, the Bears got Caleb Williams. Shout out to the Bears. We was definitely turned up through that tank season.
They ain't just get Caleb. Shit, they got fucking Montez Sweat with all that.
Yeah, me. Kobe finna be the next Jamal Crawford, Ben Gordon.
You selling them short. I think you selling them short, Dilbert.
Who you think he gonna be?
He better than those guys. I don't know, but he better than those guys.
And the big homie said, "What about the 7'2" center from with the 9'8" wingspan that's from Cameroon? Are you talking
What
about
the?
some Adam Bona? Who are you talking about?"
Damn, his motherfucking arms, his knuckles dragging on the ground. What the hell? Nah, man, that's the size of the rim.
Kobe about
Where'd
to
y'all
cook.
8?
Dalen was on the Shumper podcast yesterday. He can play some point guard. I'm telling y'all, he loves to grab the rebound and take it down the court, but put it in reverse. Dalen, like King says, I think Dalen Terry got a hell of offensive potential that he can tap into. He just got to calm down. I think he's a bit erratic. We seen the second half of last season to where he calmed down and you seen a better performance out of Dalen Terry. You seen all his strengths. I believe exactly what you're saying, Rob. Dalen Terry absolutely has some point guard skills that will be beneficial to the Chicago Bulls with the second unit, for sure.
Absolutely. I ain't got nothing to say about that. Absolutely.
For sure. Steely, very sad this young team that's supposed to have fun and play young will play like old, sad, depressed 1960 basketball thanks to their inbred head coach who doesn't know how to adapt to today's game.
Steely on
Sheesh.
his ass.
Steely, you ain't fucking around, gang. I ain't even lying. You don't think you're going to be able to get my little juice, Steely?
Damn.
That's a fact, R-Dub. We do act like we got a smart head coach. We do. Bro God said, I would love to be wrong and don't mind saying I'm wrong, but this is now complete a team full of prove your worths on this team. I can't be mad at that.
Okay, he didn't say everybody. It is some players on here.
It is a bunch of players that got to prove themselves. That's
yeah.
That's Josh Giddey. That's Dalen Terry. Mm-hmm. That's who else?
Who else?
You probably got a Jalen Smith that probably got to prove himself now. Probably looking at a Nikola Vucevic like, bro, we gave you this contract. You might have to prove yourself.
Definitely.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. Something like that. So I feel you on that. We're going to run through a couple more and then we're going to get out of here. R-Dub said, Bobby, he can barely score 10. You talking about P. Will, gang?
He probably talking about David.
Yup, Pat, go 9.
He fucking with P. Will. R-Dub, what's your problem with P. Will, bro?
Hey,
he like flowers. Hell you talking about?
He not playing with P. Will. Just a couple more. Rob said Kerr had Chip and Garland with him during the late 90s Bulls run, not the Bulls franchise. He then took him to the Spurs, and Chip stayed there and helped Spurs develop for decades before OKC now. For sure. Mentors matter.
That's great.
Who were
Zach's? Well, he played for Minnesota.
He didn't have that many mentors, to be honest with you.
I mean, he can have mentors that's on other teams. They really close in the NBA right now.
That's a fact.
So he has mentors. I ain't gonna do him like that. Not on his team, maybe not on the teams that he played for, but it's definitely he has some mentors.
That's a fact. I think that's fair. I mean, when you look at Zach LaVine, I think that he never really had a fair look. I think most of it is on him. I gotta say that because as the player, you gotta eventually rise above the occasion. But y'all, all 59 of y'all that's in here right now, can we agree? We're not gonna disrespect Flip Saunders. We're not gonna disrespect Tom Thibodeau, but can we keep it a buck about Sam Smith? Most of y'all don't even know who the fuck that is. That was Zach LaVine coach before Tom Thibodeau. Then he got Tom Thibodeau and then shipped off. And guess what he got shipped off to? Fred Hoiberg. Y'all know he wasn't that damn good. Jim Boylan. Y'all know what you know damn sure he wasn't that good. And now he got Billy Donovan. And y'all don't know much. Me included, we don't know much about Billy Donovan. So can we got to keep it a buck. Zach wasn't always placed in the best situation, but it is upon him to overcome in some situations. We can all agree on that, I believe.
I just can't with Zach. I can't. I think he had ample opportunity.
He has.
The Bulls gave him the featured role. He was the main guy. He did get the max comp. when he got here, when they traded him for Jimmy Butler.
What was
He
the
was the
what was the great opportunity he was placed in though?
oh, you're going to be the featured guy. You're going to be the number one guy. You're going to average over 23 points per game.
With who though? Is the question.
What do you
Archie
mean?
Diacono, Cristiano Felicio, Laurie Marketing.
What the hell that got to do with him averaging 23 points per game?
These fucking guys suck.
Just because they suck, he can't average points. He did it
He
anyway.
averaged the points, but if you want to see the dubs in the column, you ain't doing it with Antonio Blakely, Archie Diacono, Cristiano Felicio, Denzel Valentine, and most.
I think you're proving my point because I'm saying he had his ample opportunity. He was the head guy, and he couldn't create wins. That's it.
How do you create wins with Antonio Blakely?
You got to be a defensive. Antonio Blakely got added like midway season.
What about Archie Diacono?
Archie Diacono is a good defensive player.
Thomas Saransky, those winning players.
Tom Saransky is a good basketball player.
He was solid.
Yes.
Not a winning player compared to what you had going on in the East around his time when he first got there, bro.
He could play.
So you were saying Zach LaVine was supposed to push the Bulls to the playoffs with Tom Satoransky, Shaq Harris, Cristiano Felicio, Denzel Valentine, and all these guys?
Influence winning.
How do you influence winning with a shitty ass roster?
It wasn't that shitty. It was worse than rosters.
That shit was shitty.
Huh?
That shit was shitty.
Shitty. Wasn't the shittiest.
Okay, I get on Brad Beal's rosters. Can we say that Zach LaVine had the similar rosters for most of his careers as Brad Beal had after John Wall?
Maybe so. Yeah.
This is why I tell y'all to listen to the narratives though, because these guys had relatively shitty ass rosters, and guess who got most of the praise? Brad Beal, which is why he got traded for a bunch of first round pick swaps and ain't did jack shit. We broke that down too, y'all. Right here on Shy Bulls Podcast. We broke it down right here for Brad Beal and his teammates that he's had, and pretty much why the narrative pushed him to some echelon that he doesn't deserve to be in, while Zach LaVine sits at an echelon of the bottom that he doesn't deserve to be on. I believe Zach LaVine is better than Brad Beal. That's me personally.
Okay.
Me personally. I don't see if he's not better, they're the same.
I think that at the very minimum.
Exactly. They are the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason why you can tell me that Bradley Beal had a market and Zach LaVine don't. But I got to give it to Brad Beal because he had all the leverage. He had a no trade clause. That was the leverage. Zach LaVine doesn't have that. My man Dilbert said we need Doc Rivers. Boy, what?
If you don't stop smoke, put that fucking pipe down, boy.
That's what you need to do. Trade Doc Rivers for the Loud Pack. Hell is you talking about?
That's my boy Dilbert.
Tripping. But that's it from us, man. Cdub, what else you got left,
bro? We get caught win the summer league this weekend, Sunday. Y'all make sure we gonna be back on the live calls, y'all. It's gonna be lit. I think it's an early game. I don't know if nephew gonna be in the city too, but we'll see what happens. I thank y'all for all the support y'all been giving us. Keep it up, man. Let's keep rocking out.
Thank y'all for all the support that y'all been giving us. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell before you go. We keeping y'all updated with the latest Bulls content, news, and updates, and just giving y'all a number of topics to just discuss, talk about, and shout out to Ant the Big Homie for acknowledging that we are close to 6.5K. Hey, somebody challenged us. My brother challenged us. And he said, y'all got to get it 6.5 before the start of the season. I said, fuck that. We gonna get it before the start of the season. Y'all gonna help us because y'all the greatest fans in the world. So thank y'all very much. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. Call in if you want to be a part of the next episode. That number is 773-242-9219. Call in, leave a voicemail, give your take on how you feel about the Bulls right now. That's anything Chicago Bulls, and you'll be featured on the next episode of Shy Bulls Podcast.
Oh, bro.
I'm Bobby. That's Cdub. We definitely finna get up out of here. It's time to drink and have some fun.
Oh, bro.
I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.
Sandro, go!